Thanks.
Hello.
Guy, welcome.
Welcome to episode, I don't know what this is.
I don't know. We just
Many episodes.
12th Sunday in
That's how we
ordinary
keep track of
time,
it. Yeah, the Church Bulletin Podcast with Tim and Sara. The Tim and Sara Era.
When
Continue.
did you guys start this last year?
My goodness, at least it's got to be. I'll have to go through and count the episodes on YouTube and see.
I know we missed a couple weeks every once in a while, but you should see when the first one was, and then we can
absolutely.
know. Because it's about that time they did those episodes from France, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think it's been on for about a year now.
That's crazy.
Oh, my gosh. And you guys used to start just in Jesse's office with a little...
We had a little phone.
Right?
We did one. My favorite episode we ever did, we went to McDonald's.
Oh, my goodness.
And
it was horrible.
It was the worst. It was the worst podcast.
So much noise.
We've ever done. Hold on a second. I got to turn you up.
Oh. In the meantime,
Diana's not here today.
No, she went hiding. We told her that we were going to have her talk on the podcast today. So anyway, we'll start with the Church Bulletin cover.
Absolutely.
This week's Jesus calms the storm. So there's many actually different levels with this one. Father Ross said he said, well, we're looking at a new horizon, which we are with the pastoral plan and everything coming to light that way. Father Luke joining us here at St. Jude.
Father Luke.
Yes. And just the calming of the storm. There's if you look carefully at the person standing on the rock, there's movement through him too. So it's Jesus calming the storm so that we can go through the storms in our lives. So.
Yeah. The original, I love that you two went through this. Because I picked a bulletin cover originally that was literally a painting of Jesus literally doing the calming of the storm. He's standing in the stern.
That's what's on the children's bulletin
cover,
by the way.
And he's he's just got this epic hand out, and all the disciples are dying, hanging off the boat. And again, awesome. But yeah, then I went and started looking because I was like, Father Ross is going to be this is too specific. He doesn't like specifics. I'm like, okay, well, next week, not this week, but next week is very specific, so whatever. But we'll get to that in the next podcast. But for now, so I went through and I saw this one and I was just like, oh my gosh, all those things. And then when I heard you talking, or you told me a little bit about your conversation, I was like, oh, that's funny, because I was like, okay, how do I pick something through the eyes of Father Ross? Let's think about this, and so it worked out. I'm glad. But yeah, I think the main thing too is it's just kind of the thing for me with this picture was just wonder and awe. Just kind of because it is whether that's whoever this guy is, but it's just kind of this whole the way that the nature and the colors go together. So pray with this picture, And
on the children's bulletin, it is Jesus calming the storm, but actually it looks like Jesus is sleeping. Yeah. And it's one of my favorite, it's one of the stained glass window pieces that I use from a website for the children to color, but it is Jesus sleeping, which he is doing in the gospel reading.
So this was funny. We had our Wednesday Bible study today, and I had this realization that made me laugh, and it was in the moment. I did not plan this. I had not thought about it. Goodness gracious, someone's texting me. Oh, it's the boss.
Yes, he just texted us an image of new mass time. So.
Oh. That's exciting. Well, you'll hear more about that next time, probably. All right. So tune in next week. Anyhow, and pay attention to social media. But what was I going to? Oh, so we're going through the gospel for this upcoming Sunday, and we read this story. We've been talking about these different things, and it was a really good discussion. And it just kind of dawned on me. I said, I wonder if Jesus wasn't speaking to the storm.
Ooh.
But he was actually talking to the disciples because he was napping, and what the scripture says, it says they were like, "Don't you care that we're perishing?" And it says Jesus woke up and said, "Be still, be quiet." And the apostles don't listen to Jesus because they're the apostles, but the storm was like, "Oh shoot."
Somebody caught on.
So it just made me laugh because then the disciples say, wow, who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him? And I was like, man, actually, it was weird because I've always thought about it oh, the disciples, but then it hit me being I'm often like a storm in my mind. Thank you for just agreeing with that easily, but this idea of just being no, just be calm, be still. It's I think about the Psalm, be still and know that I am God. The first reading this weekend is from Job, where God is telling Job the answer to why everything has been happening to him. And it's not, oh, hey, this is why, that's why. But he's like, this is who I am. God's like, this is me, and I'm awesome. Like, and Job is just kind of like, yeah, you're right. And it really just, so this idea of like, wow, there is an all-powerful God. It's exciting. So pray with the bulletin cover. Lots to think about with the readings. Very exciting. It's a short bulletin this week and next week because we are getting ready to unveil the big new bulletin, the new format. We're excited about it. So thank you to everyone who gave this past weekend. It's the last time we'll have the second to last time we'll have the June intentions from Pope Francis. So please.
Also, well, let's go back.
Pray.
I just noticed that the church hours of operation, we are actually back to the 9 o'clock here for the summer. Yeah.
Okay, we'll change that for the next one.
So the church is open daily. If you ever want to come and just sit with Jesus from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Every day, the doors automatically open and close. So take advantage of that. It's a quiet time here. I mean, the church and the chapel are quiet.
I love the contrast between the two spaces. When you pray in the chapel here, like we've got the beautiful stained glass window. So if you come in the evening, the sunset, if it's sunny outside, hits the window and it's so beautiful. But then also the expansiveness of the main church, also just to kind of sit in the middle and just sort of like allow the bigness, the immensity of God to just sort of like sit with you. It's so anyway, lots of cool opportunities. We've got some cool saints in actually we only really have two, but they're both cool. In the memorials this week, the Nativity of St. John the Baptist, as well as St. Cyril of Alexandria, and then St. Irenaeus. All three of those dudes.
Actually, Saturday is the feast of St. Peter's and Paul too.
Oh, it is. Yes. Yeah. I realized that because Father was like, don't put a thing in there because it's not the weekend mass intention. But I was like, we've had 2 weeks now where it is like a bigger saint, because in a couple of weeks we're going to have St. Maria Goretti. She's one of my faves. So I put daily memorial, and then so we'll start putting that one in there because I was like, ooh, we should really have that. But
and
anyway.
Then coming up, so Father Luke's going to be starting with us again July 9th. So with that, we'll start on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, adding an additional mass intention that you can. So those, if you are looking for masses after July 9th, on those days, stop in the office and we'll get, a mass said for your loved one.
Absolutely. So some things to pray with. How's the children's bulletin looking? I know you talked
it's so cool. It's so done. It's done.
We should have brought it.
I know. I didn't print it, but like I said, we have the Jesus and the calming in the storm. I have two saints. One that actually was a feast day back on the 15th, but she's really cool, not highly talked about.
Okay.
She experienced some bullying, and then, like I said, St. Peter and Paul. And then I found, I think Tim found the Chihuahua poem. Yeah. So we decided to put it in this time. Levi needs acknowledgement in here, so we put a picture of Levi to color.
You're putting the poem.
It's a beautiful poem. And then on the back, because Jesus was in the Sea of Galilee whenever he calmed the storm, we have a map. So let's just try to show where things happen over there in Jerusalem, that area and stuff. So
all that Sea of Galilee. Technically, that's areas. To the north.
Yeah.
Or is it to the south? No, north. Jerusalem's in the south.
And then Capernaum and everywhere else that Jesus.
Sea of Galilee up north. Yeah.
Where everywhere else that Jesus preached. So I think it's pretty cool. So
that is cool.
I added a map and a prayer. So
okay. All right.
It's ready to go.
I added a prayer to this family discussion thing. So the idea of this little reflection, just encourage you, sit down. You can change the formula if you'd like, but just to sit down as a family or by yourself. And just, this is a neat idea to just write down a list of some of your struggles or difficulties. And then if you have like a prayer corner, if you have like a place that you love to pray, go there. If you want to come to the church and do this as a family, whatever, just bring that list and just set it before Jesus in a very specific place. And then ask Mother Mary to present that list to Jesus and to pray the Magnificat. It's a beautiful prayer because Mary was not, like when Mary prayed the Magnificat, much like the disciples, she was in a very dire situation. The disciples on the sea, like Mary, like things like Christmas has made the story of the pregnancy with Jesus, I think, very just happy. But no, like Mary was in a very, very difficult situation, because if Saint Joseph hadn't followed God, like terrible things could have happened. So she was very trusting, very loving, and in the middle of this, before it's resolved, she prays this beautiful prayer just about how great God is, how amazing He is, and just trusting in Him. So pray that prayer, and then of course,
the name of the prayer is the Magnificat. Just yes, FYI.
Yes. But anyway, so check that out. And then we have our usual summer weekly 2 events. We've got Wednesday Madness with Mass and fellowship and Bible study, and then, of course, Celebrate Recovery every week. And then Thursday, our newer event. Our first one was awesome. Mm-hmm. Ladies came, played some Phase 10, had great conversation. We answered a lot of questions too.
Sure did.
A lot of great conversation, but also business. It was good. And so the Let's Hang Out on Thursday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anyone is welcome. Families, if you're like looking for a place, just get out of the house, go have a little lunch and chat with people. You can come. We
have air conditioning.
Absolutely.
And refrigerator, so we can, store your food. So
we can do everything. So come on over. Then Uno's tip of the week is to get excited to be found. And I was thinking about NCYC. Someone brought up our former coworker, Nick, our good friend Nick, and I was thinking about NCYC when Nick and I went, and there was this talk that was given and the speaker talked about how his kids are horrible at hide and seek. Like he was like, they're horrible. Like it's like they're like, go hide, and you can hear them, Dad, like I'm in here, and it's like you're supposed to not want to be found, but then he realized that they actually got the point of the game, which was to be found, and they wanted to be found by him. And so I was thinking about that, and as we are thinking about this whole idea of, is Jesus there? Does He care? Like, He's just asleep in the boat. It's okay. Like the Father, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, they're looking for you in a way. Like they're present to you and they're calling to you. So be excited to be found.
And I think I've mentioned this before, but it was really cool. Tim had the kids at the office for a little bit today. But every week when Tim goes to set up the church, he brings his kids into the church, and his son goes in front of the tabernacle
every time. And he wanted to do it today.
He did. He wanted so badly to go into the church, and he's like, you want to sit on your tablet, watch mouse, and sit in front of Jesus. His desire.
I know. I just felt so bad because I'm amazing. I'm like, Carl, I have so much to do. I can't just go sit in the church. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to go up onto the altar and just sit in front of the tabernacle. He loves it there.
He does.
And my favorite thing about it is he prays. Mm-hmm. Like he's up there talking. He's just looking at the camera, blah 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 blah. And he's like hand motions. I'm like, okay, So yeah, it's phenomenal. But
it's people are always afraid of their kids going on the altar. There's a level of change when those kids enter that sanctuary area and stand there.
Oh, sure.
So again, as Father Ross has said, and we have tried to keep encouraging you, bring those kids as close to the altar as possible during Mass, and after Mass, go onto the altar and look around and take a look at all that stuff there. I know all of our faith formation kids go and get a tour of the church, and they stand around the altar, and they look at everything, and we try to teach them what names of things are, and Lord knows I don't know some days.
I love it when I'll be like talking to someone who's been like lecturing for 20 years, and I'm like, so up at the AMBO, and they're like, the what? I'm like, okay. But
the podium.
Two things about going up on the altar at St. Jude's. The first is, hey, balloons. Okay. We don't know how this works anyway, but I went like 2 things and we got balloons. So 2 things. First is there's the LED lights in the back. Mm-hmm. Don't look directly into them. I know that sounds silly, but it's real. Don't do that. And then the second thing is it's beautiful to go up there and just to see this holy place, this place that is set apart. So obviously we ask that you be reverent, but don't be afraid of it. I had one of the worst pranks pulled on me as a child. I was told by an older server, because I served like every week for years. I was told by an older server, if you stand in the middle of the altar where Father stands, you'll be like struck by lightning. So for like 20 years, I like wouldn't go anywhere near it. And then I realized that's not true. So obviously be reverent, genuflect to the tabernacle, use it as a teaching experience. But yes, you're welcome to explore, your
sit in
church.
Father's chair for
Absolutely.
a minute. Like,
I mean,
just, you get that
this
experience of like what an altar server sees.
And this
stuff.
is where vocations come from.
For sure.
I met a priest in my diocese who told a story about how when he was a little boy, he used to get into all kinds of trouble. And one day he escaped from his mother in the pew when she wasn't looking, and he got up onto the altar during the Eucharistic prayer. And what was funny is he said the priest didn't notice. He was just that quick. And he got up there, and so he was standing right next to the priest, and the priest, did the host, and then genuflected and screamed because there he is standing right next to him. And he said, my mother was freaking out. Everyone's like, what's going to happen? And did
the priest just stand there with him?
The priest said, here. And he walked him over to where the servers were, and he said, kneel down next to them. So he did. And then the mom comes running up, and he says, no, he's fine. And then he said he was like 5 or 6 years old, and he said that what happened then was the Eucharistic prayer ends, and the priest had him come up on the altar for the Our Father and the Lamb of God. And then when all the Eucharistic ministers went out, he said he walked in and said, okay, now you can go down to your mom. And he said that's when he wanted to be a priest, and he is a priest. So it's kind of cool. So you never know when moments like this is going to happen. And that's sharing our faith. We can catechize. We can give you the reasons. We can tell you what's right and wrong.
He was found, as we stated in there.
Exactly. We can reveal Jesus in so many different ways. And one of the ways is just, obviously, we appropriately and with reverence, but it's okay to be curious, and it's okay to ask, if you ever want to come and see what the working sacristy looks like, the sequarium or whatever you call it, the cool sink where wow, it's exciting. So I think I butchered the name. I'm going to get a call from Father Ross now. He's going to be like, what are you talking about?
It's a good thing he doesn't always watch these. Anyway, moving on to the next page.
St. Peter's Pence.
St. Peter's Pence.
What's that about?
It supports the works of our Holy Father and his successor, St. Peter. Yeah.
Well, he's the successor of St. Peter.
So it's a Peter's Pence collection. It's been going on forever. It will take place on the 29th, I think.
It says that...
On the 29th is the collection, the special collection.
Most urgent needs of the people of God throughout the world, including relief efforts for victims of natural disasters like earthquakes and floods. It helps support seminaries, religious houses, orphanages, medical centers, so on and so forth. So...
Also,
it's not like, hey, we're going to buy the Pope a hot tub.
Right. And so if you have stopped receiving envelopes because you joined the Flock Note family, every month that you give in that special collection, it goes to whatever, because we only have one special collection a month. It automatically goes to whatever collection is that month. So just be aware if you decide to do it that way. You can, write on an envelope and turn it in. That's fine. But if you do the special collection part on Flock Note, it will go to whatever that month special collection is.
Absolutely. And I know we said this last year when we really pushed Flock Note, but just a quick shout out to everyone who did that. A huge majority of our parishioners did what we asked, signed up for Flock Note. Thank you. It's helped so much. We really appreciate it. So thank you for doing what we asked. Something coming up as well here. Obviously, we've been talking about it for weeks and months. The pastoral plan on July 9th will be going into full effect, and information about that is on the website. So
We'll be on the website. I'm pretty sure Father Ross will get that on there as soon as possible.
We have right now what's on there is kind of the earlier announcement. So you'll get the basics, but I think Father Ross will probably be doctoring that up soon. Also, speaking of new faith, exciting, congratulations to Andy Markowitz, little lovely saint of God now. She was baptized. She was
baptized on Sunday.
Super exciting, super
Very
adorable.
fun.
I love the crowd. Like her family, it was like usually there's like 5-6 people at a baptism when we have them. There's like 20. It
was a big family.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
There's a ton of stuff going on around the diocese. We've got Catholic Charities bingo. We've got A VBS, 2 VBSs listed in our bulletin right now. It was just what came through the diocesan wire kind of thing. St. Francis is having one. Our Lady of Mercy is having one. Our Lady of Peace, it's not in here. Our Lady of Peace is having a VBS at the exact same time as Our Lady of Mercy.
And today was just announced St. George is having a VBS in mid-July too.
Absolutely. So you have at least 4 throughout the summer if you're looking for that. Sarah and I are excited because we're kicking around the idea
for next year. But this year, if you get the children's bulletin, you will get a vacation Bible school in the bulletin throughout the month of July.
100%. 100%. So so we'll be excited about that. And then also, St. Anne is celebrating the St. Anne Novena to celebrate their 150th year. That's pretty cool. So of that. So check out all those things. We're really excited for everything that's coming. Father Luke. The merge between St. Andrews and St. Jude's, the official partnership with St. Stephen's, we're really excited. And the reason that we're excited is we've been meeting new people. We've been from all over the place who have been coming in, just kind of being like, okay, it's happening. Hi, So we're really excited. So thank you so much for those of you who have stopped by the office to ask questions or to talk to us or to meet us. We really I've enjoyed it. So we're going to keep it going. So
definitely, if you've been before July 9th, please check out our fellowship, our Bible study, the Let's Hang Out. Tim and I are around for all of those events. So, you can come and talk to us and just get to know us too. I mean,
absolutely.
We're a pair. So what you see here is what you see every day in the office. So
I'm excited. We'll end with this. I'm excited about my new Father's Day shirt.
Yeah.
It's Darth Vader. The Force is strong with this dad. And I'm like, okay.
Well, your daughter has a thing for Lego Star Wars on her Nintendo Switch
now. She loves Star Wars. She's so confused, the poor thing, because she got into watching like Lego movies like Ninjago and Legos, all these different, and then the Lego movie and all this stuff. And so she loves all these things and playing with Legos and all that good stuff. And what's so funny though is now, because Lego Star Wars, and I should just say anything, but even like Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego, all these Lego games, Harry Potter, yeah. All of the games very closely follow the story, of these things. Yeah. So they're so Amia's now seeing the Lego version of all these things. So she's obsessed now with 4 different genres. And she's like, Dad, there's 2. And I'm just like, well, sweetheart, you just drank from a fire hose. I'm like, I was into Star Wars for a long time, then Lord of the Rings. It was only very recently I was into Harry Potter as an adult, really. But yeah, it's just kind of, I'm like, you're doing it all at once. So good luck to you. So if any brain can handle it,
it's hers.
It's her. She's something. She calls you her nemesis, which means she really likes you.
we have a very interesting relationship.
I'm just waiting for her to come in and just be like, my worthy opponent or something weird like that. Yeah. But anyway, get to know our family. We'd love to get to know yours, and we'll see you at a St. Jude's event soon. Yeah. Follow us on social media. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Have a great day.
Peace.